Hey there and welcome. So, if you're planning a big move to the cloud, you probably know the biggest risk is, well, the unknown. Today, we're going to demystify the one tool that acts like your GPS for that whole journey, the AWS Application Discovery Service. Let's dive in and see how it creates the map you desperately need for a successful migration.
All right, so the decision's been made. Your organization is moving its apps and databases to AWS. That's awesome. It's a huge step forward, right? You're thinking scalability, efficiency, all that good stuff. It's a really exciting project. But let's be honest, it also comes with a ton of questions.
And this is the big one, the million-dollar question. Do you have a totally complete, up-to-the-minute list of every single server? Do you know exactly which applications are talking to which databases and when? For a lot of folks, the honest answer is kinda not really. And that little bit of uncertainty, that's exactly where migrations can get super complicated, super fast.
This leads us right into what I like to call the pre-migration blind spot. It's that feeling of trying to plan this massive, complex move when your architecture diagrams are probably 5 years out of date, or you just don't have a full picture of how everything is interconnected. Seriously, it's like trying to navigate a brand new city with no map and no GPS. You're just guessing.
And it all boils down to this simple but incredibly powerful truth. You just can't migrate what you can't see. Trying to do a migration without a crystal clear view of your current environment it's so risky. You could miss critical dependencies, you could get the sizing of your new cloud resources totally wrong, and you could end up with a huge unexpected bill and terrible performance. No thank you. And this is the exact problem that AWS Application Discovery Service, or ADS for short, was built to solve. Think of it as your high-powered flashlight in that dark data center. It's designed to illuminate everything that's running so you can finally plan your migration with real confidence.
So what is it really? At its core, the service just systematically collects super detailed information about your on-premise setup. And this isn't some casual scan. All the data it collects is sent over a fully encrypted channel and then stored in something called AWS Migration Hub. You can think of Migration Hub as your mission control for the whole project. It's that one single place where you can track all your migrations and get a unified view of your progress.
Now, here's what's really cool about this service. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. It actually gives you two totally different ways to gather this crucial info, which means you can pick the absolute best strategy for your specific environment.
So you've got two paths you can go down. On one hand, you have the agent-based method. This is where you install a tiny piece of software on each server. It's perfect for getting really deep, granular details. Then, on the other hand, and this is specifically for VMware setups, you've got the agentless approach. This uses a central collector, so you can gather a ton of data without installing a single thing on your actual application servers.
Let's dig into that agent-based approach for a second. The process is really straightforward. First, you install this lightweight agent on your servers. And here's a key point to remember. It works on both virtual machines and your old-school physical hardware. Once it's installed, that agent just quietly collects system data in the background and securely sends it back to AWS for analysis. Simple as that.
Now, if your entire world is built on VMware, you've got this really elegant agentless option. You just deploy one single virtual appliance, they call it the agentless collector, into your vCenter. This collector then talks directly to vCenter to figure out what VMs you have and what they're doing. It is such a powerful way to get incredible insights without ever having to touch your production servers.
Okay, so we know how the service collects data, but what exactly is it looking for? You should really think of it like a detective who's gathering clues for a big case. Every single piece of data is a vital clue for building the complete picture for your migration. So, let's see what it finds.
The service gathers a ton of useful information. It's way more than just a server list. It logs your OS versions, which is absolutely crucial for compatibility checks. It also captures performance data, CPU, RAM, disk usage, which helps you avoid wasting money in the cloud. But maybe most importantly, it tracks all the network connections, which is how you uncover all those hidden dependencies between your apps. It even digs into your databases to check versions and schemas. So useful for planning.
Collecting data is great, but the real magic is turning all that raw information into a plan you can actually use. This is where ADS really shines. It helps you connect all the dots and finally solve that huge, complex puzzle of migration planning.
And here's where the data becomes so powerful. All that capacity info, your CPU and RAM metrics, that lets you right-size your instances in AWS. That means no more over-provisioning and paying for resources you don't need. And the network connection data? That's pure gold. It literally maps out every dependency between your servers so you know exactly which pieces of the puzzle have to move together.
At the end of the day, that's the whole goal here. Like AWS says, this data lets you develop a migration plan to quickly and easily migrate your workloads. It completely removes the guesswork and gives you a clear, data-driven path to get to the cloud.
Okay, now, for all of you out there studying for an AWS certification, listen up. Let's boil this down to the most important facts you absolutely have to remember about the Application Discovery Service, so pay close attention right here.
You got to remember these 4 things. First, its purpose, just gathering data for migration planning. It's that simple. Second, the 2 methods. You got agent-based, which works for physical or virtual servers, and then you've got agentless, which is only for VMware. And finally, what's the key data it collects? Think inventory, performance stats, and especially those critical network connections for dependency mapping. Got it? Good.
So, by using the Application Discovery Service, you're not migrating blind anymore. Not even close. You have a detailed, data-rich map of your entire on-premises world. So the only question left is, where do you want to go first?